Okay, so let's get started. Rosie, I'm so happy to see your face.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that you can make it.
Thank you
And
so
let me know if
much.
I'm too loud because my mic picks up everything. So let me know if I'm yelling at you.
No, it's good.
Okay, wonderful. So welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm in California. I live in California, Central California. I'm a health and wellness coach. I've been in the industry for over half of my life. So I started off when I was 2. Just kidding. No, I've been doing the fitness and wellness for 25 years already.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, for a long time. Started off as a group fitness instructor, and I took a class, and I kind of was put in the front row, and I was like a child at that time, and and I was very shy. I'm still very shy actually in person, but
Okay.
somehow being in front of an audience, I felt my confidence. So I've been teaching, coaching, and training since then. So I've done lots of different formats, certified for everything probably you could think of throughout the years.
That's
So I've been doing the fitness industry, and then I became a master trainer for a few big formats. So I traveled across the country, Puerto Rico, and trained trainers. So
oh,
that was my
wow.
job. Yeah, that was my job for a while until COVID hit. And then after that, it just got too difficult to travel. So I'm like, I think I'm done. So, and then I opened up my own small semi-private personal training, semi-private training studio. So I have a small studio, and I do functional training. I do semi-private training, and I do health coaching. So that's where I'm at. I've been doing this, and I just love working for lots of different people, different people.
Your story sounds so powerful. I can tell you're a force
Thank
to
you.
be reckoned with, and not just because I know you, but I can literally tell that. So, what has been the most rewarding part of your journey so far in the work that you do?
I think changing people's lives, sometimes, and I'm sure you get that too, but sometimes you hear somebody like, you literally changed my life, or you saved my life. That was a big one for me. And I've seen people transform. Again, I'm all about transforming from the inside out. I see people obviously lose weight, but when they tell me that they feel better, like more confident, more prettier, more healthier, they actually get the results from the doctor healthier.
Yes.
They go through some major medical issues, and they can actually reverse that. And that's, I think, where it makes, if we can change one person, we did our job. So
I completely agree, 100% with everything you said. So, we are here to talk about morning routines, mindset, and building healthy habits. Tell me, what does your ideal morning routine look like, and how does that set the tone for your day?
well, so I'm not always been an early bird. I do have to say that. So my morning routine might be a little bit different sometimes, because I do have to get up super early. Um, because I have like a big 5 a.m.,
Oof.
community. Yeah. So we get up almost
Yeah.
every week, almost every day of the week at 5 a.m., at least 3 days a week. But when I get up, I never ever ever hit the snooze button. That's number one. So people that tell me, "Oh shoot, my alarm," and I hit the snooze, I'm like, "Don't even tell me that." There's actually a whole book about it. There is a whole podcast about it. How powerful, negative powerful can be the snooze
Oh,
button. So it's just something that has to do a lot with our mindset. So I never hit the snooze button. When I get up, I just start moving a little bit, and I do have my little morning. I like to drink water before caffeine, because I do love coffee, but I feel that as a lot of us are going through hormonal changes, my cortisol levels get high. So I got to really watch my caffeine first thing in the morning. So I try to drink a glass of warm lemon water first thing, and then I drink my coffee, and then I start with my gratitude always. I start with a prayer. I always pray. I read my little devotional every morning, and and then I always think about gratitude. There's like, sometimes we don't realize what we have until we don't have it. And I've been there.
Yeah.
So I'm very like, okay, I gotta just, I just really think about what I'm grateful for. Three things. It's very powerful. And then, I mean, I have a lot. My morning routine is kind of a little crazy. I live in Central California, and right now we tend to get like the fog, the cloudy. I hate that. I'm a sunny person, so I
Okay.
do get the seasonal depression, and I have to have sun. I have to have light. So I have this little. It's called a happy light, and
Oh,
it's a little light, and it's perfect for people that are working on their computer all day, or, because it really helps. So I have this little happy light next to my little where I sit and just kind of write down my prayer, whatever. And that's where I do. I just pray. I write a little bit, whatever, I journal or, and it can change. I go with how I feel. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I don't want to write nothing down. I just have to think about it. Sometimes I just do my own prayer, but every day could be a little bit different. I just go for what I feel. But I do try to make sure that I always have that morning routine. And depending on how I feel, so there's good days, or maybe there's a day where I don't feel so good. So I just have to make sure I move my body, right? Shake your body or whatever it is, because once you move your body, you move your energy, you move your thoughts. So, yeah.
and I love that. I love what you just ended with because moving your body can often set the tone for the rest of the day. So tell me a little bit about how you feel your morning routine increases your productivity for the day and sets you off on the right note.
Yeah, because it's all how we wake up, right? We have to start off on the right mindset. Especially, as a coach, I have to make sure I get myself 100% because I need to go help others, right? So it's very important once you start with your little morning routine. Again, exercise, movement is important. If you have access to going outside to walk, I know right now it's cold here, and I'm sure over there too, but
Okay.
once you start moving your body, once you get the hardest, so people that wake up at 5 a.m. or earlier, there are people that can get up early just to work on themselves. That's just a sign that, they're strong mindset, right? You got to work on make yourself a priority before you go take care of the world. So once you get that out of the way, you're like, okay, I did this. I feel good. I got my workout in, you feel more productive, and then you can accomplish more throughout the day.
I completely agree. So let's say that I'm somebody who wakes up and maybe I'm not super motivated. Maybe I have no kind of morning routine. Some people, they tell me that, like, I wake up, the first thing I do is I reach for my phone and I start to doom scroll or I just get sucked into social media. So if you could give me one or two small actionable steps someone could take to start to implement a good, productive morning routine into their day, what would they be?
Okay, so I would say it's all about baby steps.
Yes.
Everybody is different. Everybody has to work whatever works for them and their goals. But it's not about like taking off. I don't like to say, okay, let's not do this. Instead, let's add this habit. So think about one thing that you can add. So it could be, okay, well, you get up and maybe if you can go for a little walk, or maybe get up and just drink a glass of warm water, or get up and here's this little 5-minute meditation,
Okay.
breath work, or whatever it is. Or there's a really good book, and I actually have all my clients read it. And if anybody is really like, okay, maybe I can change my routine, especially those people that work from 8 to 5, sometimes that's the only time you can get a workout, whether you're in person or online. But there's a book, and it's called The Miracle Morning, and
The
it's
miracle
so
morning.
powerful. Yeah, you've got to read it. If you have the audio book, there's different versions. They have one for real estate, one for kids, but just the original one. And it really, really is really good because it will motivate you to, and again, like you said, one habit, maybe listening to an audio book, a podcast, or, something that is positive.
I really appreciate you sharing as something that you've found very powerful. So, if this book has made you say, "Oh, okay, oh my gosh, like that is amazing takeaways." Thank you so much for sharing that. Um,
Mhm.
what would you tell people who just wake up and maybe they don't have a job they're looking forward to? Maybe they just wake up feeling really blah. What would you tell them about starting their day?
Sometimes it can get hard, and I get that when sometimes you're just not, you don't feel like you have a purpose. But sometimes we got to really think about, what we want to be, write down some goals and make sure they're realistic. Like if you're somewhere, okay, well, maybe in, in a year, I can become that, right? And, that a lot of people are into the law of attraction. There's a lot of science, there's different ways to say it, but just think about what you want to become and then do it. So, like, okay, like some days if I'm not feeling that good, I'm like, okay, who am I going to be today? So it's kind of like putting on a costume or something. Like, okay, today I'm going to be positive, that's what I'm going to do. Or today I'm, just kind of implement a row every single day, right? And that will help you. Once you start doing those things, in order to do something different or to become something different, we got to do something different. So sometimes we got to act as it. Like, okay, we're not an
Yeah.
active person.
Oh, I think we froze a little bit. Can you still hear me? Okay, Rosie, let me just add you back to the stage.
Oh my
You're back,
goodness.
you're back. Welcome, welcome back.
There we go.
It's technology, Rosie.
I
We're
know.
living in a world where we cannot control these things. If the Wi-Fi drops, what
Oh
are we
my
gonna do? We're
gosh.
just gonna wait for you to come back in. I'm happy that you could come back. I was telling everyone, for those who may have come into the live late, I was just
Right.
telling them about your certifications, reminding them that I will drop the name of the book, The Miracle Morning, in the
Yes.
link. I
Uh-huh.
also, well, I had two more questions for you, really,
Okay.
before we have to wrap things up. So, one of the questions you mentioned using a mindfulness app. I know for me, the very first thing I open in my day is my Bible app. Are there
Yeah.
any apps that you recommend or that you use to start your morning off really well?
I like the Bible app. That's the same thing I use, and I love several Bible plans in there that that kind of really help me. There's some that I've probably known by heart, but I like them and I keep doing them. I like several. I like meditations and breath work. Breath work is a big
That's
thing for
important.
me. So I have like a few that I listen on YouTube that I like. And then I don't know if you know Gabby Bernstein.
I don't think I've heard that name.
Okay, I have her app. It's kind of like
Okay.
a coaching program thing, a yearly thing that I have from her, and it's really good. It has meditation. She's very spiritual, and there's a lot of, just like coaching stuff that she does. And so I like that one a lot. I have that, and there's several other ones that I really like, but sometimes I'll just find something on YouTube and and I like short ones. I don't like long ones. Not all the time, I guess, just because it just what works for me, and sometimes I just meditation for me could be just being in silence, you know, and that's a big one where I just like, pray or meditate and then I just try to be in silence because sometimes there's a lot of thoughts like, what does our day look like? I have so much going on and I got to do this and do this. But, just being in silence. And sometimes it's hard for a lot of people. And I recommend, and I tell my clients, even if you light up a candle and just stare at the candle, that is a good way to keep you, because meditation is all about being in the present.
Yes.
And sometimes it's hard to do that, because we're always thinking about what's next in our life, in this busy world, I think.
I
Mhm.
think you're absolutely right. And I love your reference that meditation is just about being present. It doesn't have to, I think for me, for a long time, meditation felt very overwhelming. I'm not good at sitting still. I'm not good at being really quiet. Um, and for me, just to realize that I could use my exercise as meditation, like that's my moving meditation, where I'm just
Yeah,
really focused on my body and what I'm going
right.
through. So I really appreciate you bringing that up. The last question I have for you, before we get to hear about this awesome freebie that you have, the last question that I have for you is I know you've always been a morning person, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you've always had like an amazing morning routine. Can you tell me, like, what kind of transformation you've seen in your own personal life now that you've been able to establish and have this morning routine that works for you?
I would say physical, physical obviously because I am working out, depending on what goal I have. I used to run marathons back in the day, about 10 years ago, and I did a lot of full marathons. So that was my morning routine. I'd have to get up super early because I was training for full marathons. And obviously, I was able to accomplish where I was able to actually, I ran Boston Marathon, which was
Oh,
one of my biggest accomplishments, but that's from getting up. There was no other way, and then from there, I went into bodybuilding, not big bodybuilding, but I did like figure shows like for women.
that's
And I was
amazing.
able to transform my body, obviously, with the proper workout and the proper nutrition. But I would say the biggest one is your mindset, because there's something powerful. If you can get up, it's one of the best ways to break the negative routines. If we have that negative routine, that negative self talk, that negative, even bad habits, or I don't like to say bad habits, but habits that probably are not serving us,
Yes.
or it's the best way. You get up and you do something productive for yourself, you start feeling better, and especially when you're around other people, if you find a community, if you find other, accountability buddy,
That's
or
important.
somebody that will, kind of keeps you accountable. I think that's one of the best ways for transformation. Yes, physical, but I would say mental too.
I love it. You've dropped so many gems. I'm not even sure if you know, like the things you've said. I especially like that you said even if you're not a morning person, you have to set a goal and then you have to act as if you are that person in order to achieve the goal. So act as if. That's huge. That really is. And accountability is everything. If you don't have anyone to be accountable for, it makes changing habits so difficult. So I've seen your freebie. I love it. I
Thank
want
you.
you to tell everyone in the group a little bit about your freebie. I'm going to drop the link. So all they have to do is click the link and they can grab it. So
Awesome. So I'm all about, we coach women. I coach different types of people, but I do have a lot of clients that are women over 35, 40, that we're hitting that pre, post, and menopause, and it's so important, not just for women, but for everybody to make sure that we're hitting enough protein. And sometimes people are not aware, like, okay, how do I get protein, or what is a protein? So I created a breakfast book, and it's a recipe book for women. It's for women, but guys can use it too. And it's a recipe book, and all these recipes are just made with high protein, and they're delicious, and it kind of breaks it down. And it's just easy guide for anybody that is looking to get into more protein in their diets and they don't even know where to start.
I love that, Rosie. I mean, as somebody who also strength trains, I'm always like, how can I add protein to, especially to my breakfast,
Yeah.
especially because I get dressed and I'm out the door. So my breakfast has to be portable. So if you're looking for, and you said there's smoothies, right?
Yeah, there's smoothies. There's simple. We got to keep it simple, and sometimes it could be boring. Like my breakfast is
Mornings.
pretty boring because I eat a lot of the same thing every day. Because, like you, I have to have, I just got to get in going. But yes, it's portable. They're easy as well.
I love that. So everyone watching this needs more protein probably than what you're getting. I can almost guarantee you that. So even if you don't need it for yourself, like Rosie said, your husband, your partner, your kids, you can use these recipes to benefit them. So I want you to go to the link in the comments and I want you to grab Rosie's freebie. And Rosie, I just wanted to thank you so much for coming on, for sharing your knowledge, and for being so inspiring. Like, my goodness.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy and I'm just honored that you had me on your group. So thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. And maybe you'll come back again in the new year.
I
That would
would
be
love
amazing
to.
too.
I would love to, and I would love to take a picture so we can share it.
Oh, yes, yes,
In one
yes.
of
We'll
our
take a
groups. I
picture.
can share it. I will share it with my group too.
That'll be so cool.
There we go.
Okay.
Perfect. I'll have to
Lovely. I
share it.
hope I'm not looking off into space.
You look
Thank you.
amazing.
I
You
know where
look
to look.
beautiful.
So
You look beautiful.
thank you, Rosie, so much. It's not quite evening in California, but I do hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye bye. Be
Bye.
well.
Thank you. Bye.